The development of agriculture truly did transform human societies as it really allowed for societies to develop. Instead of living nomadically, humans were then able to kind of settle down, make villages, and form a society overall. This then led to the creation of schools and started off human development. So when you really think about it, agriculture really started like the revolution of technology and kind of human knowledge of extending that. That was the first instance that really led way for main stream education for everyone, as it made food available for everyone. One of the constraints that agriculture did pose that I picked up on was there was less gut diversity, which was mentioned in the first video, History of Food Part 1, the invention of cooking. So when they looked at people who lived a more natural life and ate how prehistoric people did, their gut had a lot more bacteria and fungi in it compared to someone with a Western diet. And that really truly means that humans are now more feeble because their diet, instead of being more diverse, coming from berries, seeds, and stuff naturally, they then were just eating grains, which did make them more feeble. Them being more feeble was mentioned in the second video, History of Food Part 2, the Agricultural Revolution. And it really does show that as they shifted from one lifestyle to another, although it was great and a huge step up for the human race in general, there is consequences, and those consequences were that people were more feeble and susceptible to disease and initially did not survive as long as they did previously. Some of the positives, though, about this is that obviously easier food access, people are now able to grow their own crops, they can start their own farm, have animals, really easily accessible food. It also opened up the trading amongst countries. Now countries were able, it was mentioned mainly in the videos, but they're traded amongst the countries themselves and made dishes more staples, like how in Mexico the tomatoes were grown, but then they were traded in Italy, and as we know now, it's a huge deal, tomatoes in Italy, and it's used on the main part of their cuisine. And then another positive is more jobs, like I previously said. There now people can enter the farms, become skilled farmers, which opens up more jobs. And when I was asked to look at the global range of food practices, I kind of noticed both similarities and diversity. So the similarity in both is that they're using their historical culture. Each culture currently finds a way to incorporate their old ways of cooking, and they kind of make a modern spin on this. In the second video, the man who was making the tacos, he really made it a point to give it back to the way that the culture had originally done it, and it had tasted better. And then a difference in that I noticed was the actual foods and how they are prepared. So culturally, that different groups of people will eat different groups of food. The textbook, in the first chapter, the chapter is called The First World Cuisine of Food in the textbook World History by Pilcher, talks about kind of the differences in Chinese and Mediterranean diets. So while the Chinese value eating meat and they find that important in their diet, the Mediterranean people don't do this, and instead they have bread with grain and wine, and that's something that they culturally value in their diets.